Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Mowers and More. Check it out. This is my 2012 Kubota BX25D. I've had this since I think 2017 is when I purchased this, so half of its life anyway. I picked it up with about 230 hours on it. It's got just shy of 500 on it now, and I use it here on our little farm for just about everything you can think of. When I first bought it, it came set up just like you see here. And later on, I added a 60-inch mid-mount mower deck to it. And I also got a 3-point hitch adapter for it so I could use tractor implements on it. Now this is not a cheap piece of equipment. In fact, when I bought it, this cost more than any car I had ever owned before it. And I bought it used in 2017 dollars to give you an idea. Now the most used part of this tractor is the loader by far. It may be hard for you to see in this video, but right behind me here, I was spreading gravel earlier today with this tractor. The second most used part of it would be the mid-mount mower deck that I'll show you in another video. And the least used but most important part of this tractor is the backhoe. And it was a tough call. You could pick these up, still can, for a relatively reasonable price, either with just the mowing deck or just the mowing deck and a loader. Less than $10,000 even in 2024 dollars. But that added a lot to the price. And it really came down to is how much shovel work you've got to do. For me, maybe once a year, once every other year, I have a project that requires a lot of shoveling. And if I were going to try to do that in my 50s, that's just going to wear me down. My joints and my cartilage and my knees and my back and everything, they're already pretty well shot from a tough life. So continuing to do that kind of stuff in your 50s is just not a great idea. This here has saved me more times and probably a few visits to the hospital than I can count. I'll upload a video here in a few weeks of digging a trench, a 2-foot deep by about 80-foot trench, actually more like a 120-foot trench, that shows me laying in wiring. And if to do that by hand would have just taken weeks on end for a guy like me. So that is an awesome piece of equipment and certainly worth its money, worth the extra money as far as I'm concerned. Now let me take the camera off the tripod. I'll give you a 500-hour walk around of this thing, and I'll talk to you about how it's held up and some of the few things that I have had to replace, and would I recommend something like this for you. Let's do it. All right, well, here we go. So the deck is off. I've got it over here in the corner. I'll show it to you. But as far as the loader is concerned, I've had to replace 0 parts on that. Everything has functioned as it should, and I have worked this thing. In fact, there's a video I put out on the main channel years ago called The Big Dig of 2018. I got so many hours on this thing that I hopped off the tractor and I used that, grabbed that to move around something and burn my hands. That hydraulic fluid was that hot, and it was a doozy. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't really the tractor's fault. It was doing a great job. Damage that has occurred, this has cracked. It's a plastic. I don't know why they did that in plastic, but it cracked. It doesn't stay together perfectly, but it's still functional and still works well. Other things that I've replaced on this, the tie rods on both sides had a lot of slop in it. I fixed that. I am getting some seepage from the seals here, these where the transmission differential, for the front diff here is. So I'm going to fix that. I'll make a video on that. I've got to buy that stuff. And she's due for another oil change, air filter, and that kind of stuff. So I'll do that as well as I go through. But tires are all original. I did have one come off the bead. Had a flat tire from a hole in there. Ran over something and stabbed a hole in it. But got that patched up and put back on. But they are original, which is pretty impressive. A lot of people ask me about this. These are fluid-filled tires. They are also, I've got wheel weights. The rim size of these is the same as a garden tractor for like Husqvarna, Craftsman. So I picked up 2 GT wheel weights and added even more weight on this in order to give it better traction. Got chains on it because we do plow in the wintertime. I do have a snow plow for this as well. I'll make a video on that at some point. But the only other part that I've had to replace since I bought it is the radiator. It started leaking, and that's been about 15 months ago. It was in the middle of winter. I was plowing and I was like, well, I smell that sweet, sickly, sweet smell of coolant. So I went ahead and swapped that over. Not a terrible job to do on that either. Gets decent mileage, I can cut the lawn twice with this thing, or I can work pretty much all day, in this configuration and not have any issues. On the backhoe part of it, only issue I've had with it since buying it is it was really weird. The controls for one of these joysticks here rattled loose, and some of the linkage fell off, so I couldn't control one of the features, one of the motions. So I just took that metal case there off, reattached that. That's literally all I've had to do. Only other issue I have with it is when it comes time to taking these on and off, there's giant pins here. This pin, I don't know if the metal's bent, or I don't know what's going on with it, but it's a little bit, it just doesn't work as well. Like, it's hard to slide it in and out, but it's hard to complain about that. Rope system works fine. I see a lot of people out there that'll take the ropes and like leave it in the down position. Please, my friends, don't do that. We've had 2 people die in my town just this year because of rollovers on these tractors. Not specifically a Kubota, but tractors in general. You think you know what you're doing right up until you don't. So, yeah, engine, I won't pop the hood on it, but I mean, you know, it is what you expect out of a Kubota engine. A little 3-cylinder diesel, and very worthwhile. Like, it's just right enough power for something like this. You get a much more powerful engine, and then you're able to do stuff that would probably bend the equipment. So the engineers, the people that designed this, they really knew exactly where to put the energy into it. And so it's just a well-designed, well-thought-out thing. So would I buy something like this again? Yeah, in fact, we moved to this property in 2014, and I hesitated to buy this because of the cost, and did a lot of the work here initially by hand, and it just really was hard to get through all that. So yes, I would buy this. I wish I had bought it in 2014 and not waited. Of course, the cost of these are going up, but I would say if you're a homesteader, if you have, you know, property, or if you want to earn a little extra money, having that backhoe attachment is a great way to earn some cash, because somebody with a backhoe can make some cash. I guess that'll do it. It's a great little Kubota BX25D that's been replaced by the 23S, I believe it is, and I haven't heard anything bad about it. I'm sure frame-wise and everything else is pretty much the same. They just modernized the looks and changed a few things around. So just an overall great subcompact utility tractor. You'll see this in a lot more videos going forward. Fluid changes, oil changes, you know, repairs, that like basically tune-up stuff. And I got a bunch that I need to do, and so we'll be in that, and also have some videos showing it at work as well. So till next time, my friends, take care.